Live from the mean streets of South Lyon, Michigan. This is the Off Center Sports Card Show. We'll talk all cards, modern and vintage, graded and ungraded, and stories of the hobby. Sit back, grab a cold one, and let's join George Jackson and Coach Pat. Welcome to the OC.
Coach Pat, my man.
We are back. Unbelievable that we made it to the second episode without getting canceled.
We are in a cancel culture.
Yes.
They have not.
Anything's possible. Anything's possible. But hey, we're still plugged in, ready to go. But thanks to everybody for all the kind words from the first show, and we hope to bring you some more great stuff tonight. And George will get into how tonight's show is going to look. And again, a big thanks to Tom and Rich from the Easy Speak Easy podcast, the best in the business. We've got some new fancy effects that we're going to get into tonight. This might look semi-professional, which doesn't really.
You said semi.
Yeah, I did. But doesn't really, professional and George and Coach Pat usually don't go in the same sentence.
That's why we are off center.
Yes, way off. But George, what do we got planned tonight?
Was I supposed to plan stuff?
We can just sit here and talk and have some beers and, get into the slam zone here and throw down some two-hearted cheers.
You, buddy.
Let's have a good show.
All right. Well, tonight we're going to have our special guest this evening.
First ever guest on the show.
Yeah, first ever. This is our second show now, so we're batting 500.
All these shows are running. We've done so many of them. They're all running together.
True.
I'm trying to remember if we've had a guest before, but I don't think we have.
We haven't, and this is going to be our first one from the great state of West Virginia.
Nice.
Bluefield, West Virginia, to be exact. And one of the great auctioneers in our business on Facebook, Kevin Bowman, will be joining us.
Kevin Bowman, no relation to Bowman Sports Cards, but great to get the perspective of somebody who owns as you see in some of the Facebook posts, or you hear in the industry the term LCS, which stands for local card shop. So Kevin runs a card shop in West Virginia with his brothers. And so he's going to be able to provide a lot of great information, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Long time guy in this hobby, and not somebody who's just jumped in here in the last couple of months. So Kevin knows his stuff. Very engaging, entertaining guy. So I think you guys will like him. Firing some questions to Kevin while you're watching, and he'll be able to answer those hopefully during the show.
Yeah, definitely. And we're going to get to that a little later. Like I said, Kevin's going to be joining us. Let's start it off, though. We've got a little bit of interesting news in the past few days, I should say. And it started off with LaMelo Ball. We see a LaMelo Ball injury who's going to be out for the season. And now we got Eloy Jimenez from the White Sox. Yep. Also going to be out 5 to 6 months, I believe. Torn pectoral muscle. And those pectoral muscles hurt. I've torn both at once.
And when you're throwing up 3 to 4 plates on each side on the bench press, it can happen.
Right.
It can absolutely happen. But hey, you got to roll with the punches as a professional athlete. But it is amazing to see how much injuries, the trade deadline. So today was the NBA trade deadline. How much those things can affect the card market. You hear the rumor, or you hear the term "buy the rumor, sell the news." So, the last few days, you've heard different names thrown around for the NBA trade deadline. Lonzo Ball, Bol, my son's favorite player, by the way. So people are thinking, oh, my God, Lonzo Ball is going to get traded to the Clippers. He's going to go to the Bulls. So people start buying up his cards. So kind of fitting the narrative, buy the rumor. Thinking, hey, if Lonzo goes to the Bulls, he could have a long career there. Now I can flip these cards at some point down the line. And, hey, I've made money on my Lonzo Ball cards.
So when you say that, like going almost to the Bulls, is that more of a market type thing, bigger market city-wise? How do you look at that as?
Yes, and a better fit. You got Billy Donovan as the head coach over there. I think the Bulls are doing some good things, and Lonzo looks to have established himself as a guy that's going to have a nice NBA career. And the Bulls, I think, would be a better fit for him. As it turned out, he wasn't traded at all.
Right.
Survived the trade deadline, still in New Orleans. You had LeVar Ball talking like,
"Oh, I
can't wait for Lonzo to get out of New Orleans."
Right.
But he ended up staying there. He said he hates New Orleans.
Great impression.
But I tell you, I got sidetracked there. But that's the trade deadline. That's one aspect of where the card industry can be affected by different things. Today we're going to focus on injuries, which is another big factor that can affect sports card prices. And speaking of the Ball family, we'll get right into LaMelo Ball.
One of my guys to invest in last week, I believe it was.
He was.
I knew he was in, didn't I?
He was in your top 5.
Man,
he was in your top 5.
Don't go in my top 5. That could hurt you.
Yeah, it's right. So last Friday night, LaMelo Ball, clearly the runaway favorite for Rookie of the Year in the NBA. Had an unfortunate injury, broke his wrist, and this is just at the time all of his pro cards are coming out, like Hoops. You got Dunruss that's out now, and broke his wrist. Just a freak thing. Most likely out for the season. They're saying there's a chance he could return, probably depending on how the Hornets are doing. Do they want to bring him back or not? But you look, how does that affect LaMelo Ball's card prices? So kind of looking at the data, in the last 7 days, LaMelo Ball's card prices are down close to 10% from this time a week ago. And he was, it's one of those out of sight, out of mind type of things. All the hype. He was playing great. He's throwing alley oops to Miles Bridges. And his most heavily traded card is his Hoops base card. So Hoops came out about a month or so ago. So 557 total transactions within the last 7 days. That Hoops card, ungraded. We'll talk about the graded card a little bit later in the show. Ungraded, which is called raw. It's a raw card. That's the hobby term. Down 12.5% in the last 7 days. So direct correlation between injury, card prices dropping. So investors can look at it one of two ways. They can say, all right, hey, I think LaMelo Ball is going to have a long career in the NBA. I'm going to buy his card. You always say buy the dip. There's just like the stock market. So LaMelo Ball's cards start to dip. Hey, I'm going to take advantage of that. I'm going to buy up some LaMelo Ball cards because he's going to come back. This is not a career-threatening injury. He broke his wrist. In my mind, now's a good time to buy some LaMelo Ball if the price is right. Another good example is in football. You're going to see this by far, and I think you and I are on the same page on this topic, that you've got to be so careful in football, especially with the skill position guys, the running backs, the wide receivers. So Saquon Barkley, everybody loves Saquon Barkley. Just a stud. Nobody will dispute that. But week 2 of this season, Saquon Barkley suffered a very, very unfortunate torn ACL, a common injury. But these days, these guys bounce back from a ACL. It's almost like having a bloody nose. The way these guys get in and out with a torn ACL. But we see it every season. Before the season starts, it's all the hype. You see those football prices starting to climb right around June, July, August. The season gets closer. Everyone gets excited. I think I'm guilty of it myself. Bought up some Drew Lock cards, Danny Dimes. Like, oh, these guys are going to have breakout seasons. And Saquon was a guy that people like. So right around the July-August timeframe, Saquon's Prism PSA 10 was selling in the neighborhood of $430. After the injury, and still today, you can have that same card for $230, $240.
Right.
So just a huge decline right there. And if you're a Saquon Barkley guy, you think he's going to be the next Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, going to have a long career. I just think the running back position has been devalued quite a bit in the NFL, and I don't think any running back is going to have that long of a career. But it's again an investment opportunity. If you are big on Saquon Barkley, now is a great time to buy on Saquon Barkley. And one thing you'll see is that a lot of people, if a guy gets hurt and you're holding a bunch of his cards, people are gonna panic sell. They're gonna say, "Oh my God, I bought all these Saquons. I gotta at least get out from some of them. Got to get out from under them. I got to unload these 3 or 4 cards," and they'll look to sell for, sell at a loss, just because they don't know what the long term prognosis is.
Yeah.
So, with these injuries, you gotta keep a close eye on it. And anytime a guy gets injured, I would certainly take a look. If it's a player you like, it's a great time to buy. Great time to buy. And LeBron James is the last one. High ankle sprain, very minor injury, out 2 to 3 weeks. Again, out of sight, out of mind. His prices have dropped a little bit. Um, you know, they're only off about 3%, but and I think part of that with LeBron is a market correction. We saw a big run on the legends over the last, month or so. So I think that has something to do with it. But really, guys like LaMelo Ball, Saquon, you ever see an injury like that come up? In my opinion, very good time to buy if you feel very strongly about that player.
Well, those are all great points too on all three of those players, and I think it's huge. And you look at a player like Lamelo. When do you think it's a breaking point, though? I mean, we're down 12%, so let's say what, $40 for a raw hoops rookie? Is that about right, Pat?
He's actually
Where it
he's
was
in the
at
neighborhood of he's about 25, 30 for
right
a raw
now.
card. Yep. On
Okay, so
Hoops.
yeah, going down
Yeah.
right now.
Yep.
Where's a breaking point where you're like, I'm hitting that hard?
I actually started to do it, and I'll tell you, I'll put my money where my mouth is. I just had a couple packages delivered in the last 2 days of Lamelo Ball raw cards that I bought up. And Hoops is low end, as we all know. It's not the prism that everybody kind of looks at as the holy grail of cards, but it's what's hot right now. And same with the Donruss. And but Prism just dropped this week, first off the line. So you'll start, and just having that happen, all the higher end stuff starting to launch, you're going to see kind of the third and fourth tier cards like
Okay,
a Hoops and Donruss go down naturally, even if he wasn't injured.
right.
But I'm bullish on Lamelo. I think he's going to have a nice NBA career. So I
I
am
do believe also
buying
we're not
Lamelo.
talking a lower body injury here,
Yep.
the hockey term, I should say. Um, you're seeing more wrist injury, and I think he's definitely going to recover off of that just fine. Out of sight, out of mind, use that term. PSA, would you send it in to get graded right now?
I would.
For your own thing. It's out of sight, out of mind, everything.
Absolutely, because I have no use for that graded card until next NBA
Or
season.
raw card, just
Right.
sitting there.
Yep. I'm starting to compile my next submission. And it probably will be comprised of guys that I don't need or I'm not concerned with doing a quick flip or quick turnaround.
Right.
It's players I'm willing to wait on. Joe Burrow being another example. Compile some of those cards, get a submission together, send them in. Yeah, see you in 9, 10 months, maybe if I'm
Yeah.
lucky. But I'm willing to wait.
And that's a great thing for us, for the listeners and viewers out there to understand us. We have our segments we talk about, but everything else we off is off the cuff here. So I mean,
Yep.
and that's a great lesson for everyone too. For the grading is just get it out there. It's not doing you any good in your hand, and it might only go down right now. And if you believe in that player, send it off, get it graded, and wait. And because you're waiting on it anyways, why not wait when it comes in as a 10 or a 9?
Yeah, I mean, you can still send cards into PSA at the value level at roughly $25
Yep.
per card on modern cards, but you do that knowing it's going to be a very long turnaround time. But when you get those cards back, you're like, geez, this is I totally forgot I sent that in. By the time you get it back, now Lamelo Ball is in the MVP race instead of
Right.
the Rookie of the Year conversation. So it's a fun thing about it. There's a combination of what we call speculative buys. Very tough word to say, speculative.
You spell that?
So guys that you think, young players that you're buying stock in this guy. Like, say, I think LaMelo's going to be the next Kyrie Irving or the next Isaiah Thomas, whatever. Baseball players, Torkelson, whoever. So it's speculative. Think I'm going to buy a bunch of his cards. If he ever breaks out and becomes one of the top guys in the league, I'm going to be doing great. there's plenty of those examples where, hey, they go the other way and they're out of the league in a couple of years. Next thing you know, you're holding stacks of cards that are worth less than $1. So that's the fun thing about the hobby.
And we go through that.
Yep.
Got a guy right now, Eloy Jimenez, like we talked about here right at the beginning, with the torn pectoral. My little story about myself: for the past 3 to 4 years, I have hoarded Eloy Jimenez cards. Yes, autos, rookies, anything and everything. Very large collection of it, and I was excited.
Keyword was.
I was, but I still am, and it won't stop me from buying.
Now you buy more.
Buy more, exactly. The guy is the real deal. I have a lot of his stuff waiting at PSA right now, and I'm not worried about it. I know our own here in Detroit, Miguel Cabrera, had that same injury.
Yep.
And even being a little older, he recovered from it just fine. And I believe Jimenez will also. To see that, we see players like Aaron Judge constantly injured, but wow, when Aaron Judge is healthy,
same with Stanton.
I will put up this argument right now, but Stanton really hasn't put up those numbers in New York yet. Judge does. And when we all rise, the market all rises on him.
Yeah.
And I've never seen any player polarized as much as Aaron Judge and his cards are.
Yep.
And I will take that argument to the bank over and over. And I've seen it the past 2 years, 3 years. When that man is healthy, and he's healthy right now, it shoots up.
So are you telling everybody, all the viewers, to invest in injury-prone power hitters?
Oh, chicks dig the long ball.
The message?
Chicks dig the long ball. We know that.
I'll tell you this. So this is how speaking of Jimenez.
Yeah.
So when a guy like that goes down, you also want to look at the next man up. All right. So now who is the next player?
Luis Robert,
who can capitalize.
Bob,
who's going to fill that spot? The name I see is Andrew Vaughn. Andrew Vaughn is he was a top 3 draft pick of the White Sox. He's a first baseman, but they might work him into left field just to get him some reps.
Okay, interesting.
At the major league level.
But you have Eaton there too, and you have guys that are going to be falling into that mix.
Yep. But it's something to think about.
It is. You almost overthought me there.
Yeah, I know. I did. You really got very guilty of but I've always tried to think of. You think 2 to 3 steps ahead. All right, so Eloy Jimenez is injured. Maybe a good buying opportunity for his cards, but who's going to fill his spot now that he's out of the lineup? I'm hearing Andrew Vaughn. Maybe I'm going to go buy some Andrew Vaughn cards because, hey, if this guy comes out, who was the guy from the Tigers that always had a hot start? The name
Eric Munson.
No, definitely not Eric Munson. No, Chris Shelton. Chris Shelton came out one year just belting home runs all over the place, and this was before the sports card industry got
Shelton
crazy.
There.
I think he got one of the grounds crew girls pregnant. By the way,
wow. Is that breaking news right now?
Kids friendly show, but it's guys like that can come out, and it's going to happen this year in MLB. Somebody's going to come out.
Somebody's going to knock up some grounds crew.
Yeah, maybe.
Wow.
I don't know. It's COVID.
Yeah, it could happen.
It's COVID. Maybe not this time, but somebody's going to come out, a name that you've never heard before. Very, unconventional name, but that guy, it'll send the card prices soaring.
It does.
And it could be, I think Andrew.
And it won't happen in a rookie, of course, too.
Right.
I mean, it's not, I mentioned the name of Adam Eaton, who is a great player.
A friend of the South Lion community as well.
Yes. But you just don't see it happening. Now, when we talk about injuries right now, and I want to kind of go back to you with this one, Anthony Davis.
Yep.
Why haven't we seen that soar in Anthony Davis going out to LA? Like we talked about small market, big market, just kind of before that even. And you see Anthony Davis go out there. He is healthy. Why did his cards not fly up in price? And I think actually his prices maybe, correct me if I'm wrong here, held more value at New Orleans than they did here.
He's been dinged up a good portion of this season, and towards the end of last year, his prices went through the roof as LA was closing in on a title. LeBron and AD, and they came back this year. Prices started to soar again. Then he got hurt. Same thing. Great buying opportunity on AD. So he's another one. He's another one I'd look at because I think these guys are well positioned to win it again this year. Doesn't look like it right now because LeBron's out, AD's out, the core of the team is injured. But man, if I'm a serious investor, I'm buying big on LeBron and on AD.
Okay, that's strong. I mean, I think that it shows a lot of when we talk about correlation of NFL, kind of comparing it to a position in basketball. We talk about the quarterbacks being the sexy pick, always the correct pick, and all this because, boy, running backs, wide receivers, you're really taking a huge gamble. And there's the collecting end of it, there's the business end of it. But if you're going to look at the business end of it, stay away from these these running backs and receivers because it is tough. And I mean, do what you want with it, but where do you consider consider like a point guard, a quarterback, or a wide receiver? I mean, how do you say that?
In basketball, it's the guards that are kind of the sexy pick. You got Kevin Durant, who's a small forward, a small power forward, whatever. But is the big man have never gotten the respect in the card market.
Yeah.
Shaq has always been a notch or two below, all the guards and the forwards. It's just the big man that just doesn't get the love that they should.
Right. One thing I want to see too is like our viewers out there. Feel free to ask these questions, see them. And Rich, did we have somebody pop up there and wanted to?
It looked like Josh. Was that Josh Wells?
I can't see here.
Yeah, my eyes are so bad. Maybe our producer Rich can fire the question away. Thanks for watching, Josh.
Yeah.
Brandon Bosch was a huge hitter when he started. He just went cold.
Yeah, that's another great example.
Great hitter, and but look at Josh. He's in the league still, man.
Bosch is
still
Brennan Bosch
in the league.
Who does he play for?
Angels.
Is?
Yeah,
play for the Birmingham Biscuits.
That kid has a swing, and I say kid because I know each other to me. I mean, but he has got a swing though. He has kept himself a career though.
Swings out of his
now,
shoes.
As of hype here in Detroit, yeah, we loved him. But I think the problem here in Detroit, we love everybody.
He's like a Rob Deere or Donnie Kelly. You just hope he runs into one at some point.
Right.
Liability defensively. He'll stroke one for you one time. Actually, I have a Brennan Bosch autographed baseball, I think, in that closet right there.
We're not going to auction it off.
I might auction it off tonight.
You want to go throw it in the pond?
I might have to. I might use it for BP tomorrow at Action Sports.
He's in the Reds organization. Okay. See, there you go, Tom. I mean, hey, maybe the White Sox go after him. Fill a little spot there.
Maybe.
You got two producers tonight.
Can't believe.
Yeah, we do.
That's a shocker to me that he's still in the league.
We can never have enough producers for us.
Still in the league. Is Chris Shelton still in the league?
No.
We need to do it. He's paying child support.
He's an ad man for Fago Red Pop.
He is. Andy Dirks. You remember Andy Dirks? He's a real estate
He's
agent.
a real estate. I'm friends with him on Facebook.
Yeah, are you Facebook friends?
Yes, we are.
We can get him on the page, actually.
That means we're best friends.
Hey, listen, and I'm also friends with Roderick Allen, mostly known as Rod Allen.
Right. That's my chair, by the way.
It is? I'm going to get in the Rod Allen headlock here.
Yeah.
Rod and Mario are going to throw down.
So, hey, funny you guys bring up Mario.
Second that.
Funny you guys bring those two guys up. I was trolling the Twitter today, and
you trolling?
Freddie the Pizza Man had a picture with him and Mario and Bemba.
And I loved in the height of the Tigers' run. Mario and Rod were unbelievable. They became family members here at the Noonan House. You didn't like them?
No.
Why?
I didn't like either one of them.
Either one?
Neither one I did not like.
I loved Rod. I loved how much of a homer Rod was. It was incredible.
Are you like a Mickey Redmond fan too?
I don't mind Mickey.
Jeez. Like
Ken Harrelson? Put it on the board.
Yes.
Yes.
I like that though.
Who's the guy on the Yankees?
Yankees
Michael K.
Yes.
Hey,
I like a good homer.
George probably likes Mason from the Pistons.
Probably. Chauncey Billups.
Now it's more of a Ken Cal fan.
I agree.
Ken Calvert, yes. Ken Cal was hockey. Yes.
See the old guy again. Get off my lawn. I don't like the home. You got to do it just traditional, old
I'm
school.
very judgmental.
Very
Hey,
much
so
so.
I got to ask you both the
Yeah.
question from the producer's chair here.
Oh,
Do
nice.
either one of you guys have any Georgia Blaha cards by any chance?
Blaha? No, I got a Blaha
love George
bobblehead.
Blaha.
You have a Blaha bobblehead?
Do
Yeah.
you like Blaha?
I do like Blaha.
Love Blaha.
Of course, he
Yes.
likes them because
Count that baby and a foul.
Touchdown.
MSU.
There we go.
Oh
You
my
like that
God.
one, producer, didn't you?
That should be a drop.
No.
Denied.
We don't have much control on this show,
That's
really.
true.
Should I get the gavel out
We're
or
just.
no?
Oh, I should have brought
Ooh,
the
the
gavel.
gavel.
Should have brought the gavel.
We're just the underlings.
We're trying it. We're learning this all.
We're
and-
just overhead.
yeah. We'll get to it.
Unfortunately.
Coming up now, we got a new little segment here. I guess I'm introducing myself since you won't, Pat. So
No, this is so.
we got a thing called Hip Hip's Top 5. It's a little Hip Jorge, little nickname, but we had it drop. But that didn't work either. So
I think this is a great topic and something that, gosh, we could probably do this every week. But when a new card drops, we're so curious what's the design. I'd love to see the preview of the new cards that drop. And one really disappointing one to me recently is the 2021 Topps Baseball. It is, and of course, it's the only card you can find on the shelves at Meijer, Target, Walmart, whatever. That's the one everybody leaves behind as a courtesy after they clear the rack of basketball and football. And I open these cards. I mean, I have to look to see what the player's name is. Just poorly designed. It's some okay inserts, but clearly the pre-modern stuff, the vintage stuff is where it's at with Topps Baseball. And our good friend Hip Jorge is going to give you his personal top 5 Topps baseball card designs.
that is, and you know what we see a lot in today's times, and there's products called Topps Archives, and they kind of go back and use the designs of the past because the designs in the 50s and 60s are still the greatest, and 70s are still the greatest to me. There's a couple 80s, and I'm gonna get
And that's-
through
you were just getting your driver's license at that time.
just about. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
good. It's easier to drive those days. People were less distracted with cell phones.
Right. I'm still waiting for my Father's Day card, by the way.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing I see is a couple honorable mentions. 86 and 87 Tops are great to me. I was 11 at 86 and 12 and 87, and those were great designs then. And I think a lot of it, of course, is right at the heart of my collecting. But you can't argue those. I just think they were simple and very nice. And what we're going to get to right now is the top 5. Starting with number 5. One card I love the most, 72 Topps era, the 1970s era, I should say, excuse me. But when you look at 72 Topps, that defines the 70s really in the most. Like, we just kind of see that the letters of the Tigers, the team name coming out, popping out. It almost looks like that rock and roll poster back in the day when there's rock shows and things like that. So their design right there really defines the 70s in my opinion. And one card I really like there a lot, and you know, the back of it, nice and simple. It shows one thing we see with the older cards too. It shows their full stats from all the years in the past. So 72, and the pictures are real then too. I mean, these guys are paid to have their pictures taken, and you know that's
looks
number
like
5.
That looks like a South Lyon Junior League pose right there.
It kind of does. I should have brought my card in from high school.
Looks like he's got a poncho on. Look, he's got a collar out there. He's popping his collar.
Hey, so
That's sharp.
Yeah.
team managers were eligible for pictures with the baseball team?
Yes.
Yes.
So that's another thing missing today.
Yes.
I've got a 87 Sparky Anderson upstairs that I bought from Kevin Bowman, who will join us shortly.
Did you?
Yep.
Yeah, another thing,
Topps
that's
Tiffany,
the
87.
managers.
Hey, was this one of those guys that you went up to and said, "Hey, I really want that," and he said, "How much money you get in your pocket?" And you told him $47, and he fleeced you.
Yeah, but
that
I see.
same dude?
Lesson learned. Lesson learned. I have been fleeced by Bowman, so I won't deny it.
All right, we're going to a real cool card here. This would be Topps third year, 1954. We got old Scooter, Phil Rizzuto there. Long time Yankee announcer.
That's a sharp
we got
design.
a Hall of Famer there.
I like that a lot.
The colors in the background are huge for that era.
Yep.
And once again, I really when I look at the cards, I look at the artwork, judge it by the era. You got the player's signature there down at the bottom, facsimile signature, and an action photo along with that. So if you think about how much detail that is in 1954,
Yep.
that's a lot there. And just that red in the background really pops that card with the Yankees logo up in the upper right-hand corner. And another card era I love, and then a 54 set especially.
Jackie Robinson.
Well, you got Jackie Robinson, but you have huge rookies in there.
Yep.
You have L.K. Line, Ernie Banks, Hank Aaron, Tommy Lasorda, even being
Out of the bunch, that's for sure.
good. So I'm hitting a nice little nerve there, huh, there, producer?
George
Just a little
Jackson would
bit.
like to put
I
that
love
up
it.
for auction for you.
Yeah.
That's not graded or anything.
Quicksand.
Like that.
It really doesn't matter. I just love the collecting end of it. And when you talk vintage like that, it's just sweet.
That card will go absolutely nowhere because that card was given to me by my late father, so it's not going anywhere.
No, and that's the
Awesome.
that's the beauty of collecting, is that it's not all about the investing side of it or profiting. There's a sentimental value to a lot of these cards. There's cards that I have that I remember getting when I was with my dad, waiting in line at the Old Country Buffet in Westland. Very high end place. Morton Steakhouse was full.
Oh,
So
okay.
we went over to the OCB.
Yeah.
Mashed potatoes, gravy, some cornbread. And I said, "Hey, I'm
Fresh cut roast beef.
yes, fresh cut." So I went over to the local drugstore, and when they sold packs Fleer Ultra, and I remember ripping open a Shaquille O'Neal like Fleer Ultra all rookie. I was so excited. Then I got to eat at the OCB. Greatest day ever.
You have the moose pudding after this?
Yes.
Yeah. The chocolate mousse
I mean,
pudding.
if that's
solid.
what you call it.
Yeah.
He's
All right.
good.
Now, next one, 75 Topps. The coolest people were born in 1975. Don't know if you realize that. Huh?
Not,
No, I said 75.
not familiar with the
All right.
the Stone Age.
But we're looking at a 75 Topps design here, and this more specifically a 75 Topps Mini.
I was gonna say it looks like something you'd find in a cereal box.
Yeah, these are 75 Topps Mini. These were test ran in Michigan. So you find these a lot in Michigan. Then they were produced in California and New York, but they weren't produced as largely as they were in Michigan. Very tough to find minis.
I'm not a big mini fan.
Wow. I was trying to impress you here tonight. And the
I
75
like, I like the design. I would just like to see it in a larger scale.
It is, and they make the exact same cards, 660 card set, all same.
So what's the
and the large.
allure? What's the allure of the mini? I mean, why would somebody want the mini versus the traditional? Just more rare?
Because you had to eat a whole thing of cereal to get to it.
Yeah, it's like
Hey, don't lie. You guys were the kids just like I was. You opened the box of
Oh,
cereal.
I stuck my arm
Stuck
right in
your
there.
hand,
Yeah,
yeah.
no
You
doubt.
had- it didn't
Pull that
matter.
damn toy out.
Crane
Screw-
machine.
Hey, screw everybody else. You go and you get that card.
Exactly.
Well, it's like the Cinnamon Toast Crunch. They found the shrimp tails in it.
I heard that today. That's
yeah.
kind of gross.
Sounds tasty.
How does that happen?
I don't know. Somebody
Did they
screwed
eat the
up.
shrimp tails?
It probably goes good with milk.
Nice.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
just to let you know, You have a guest waiting for you.
Oh, a guest in the lobby.
You have a guest in the lobby waiting.
Hey, you know what? Bring our
Let's
boy
bring
in.
him
We'll
on.
finish. That was card number 3 in the top 5, or so we're gonna be
Let's
getting the next
bring him
2.
on.
But I guess this guy's got more pull than those cars have. So
He's pulling something.
so let's bring the guy in.
Oh,
There he is.
wow, West Virginia. That's a West Virginia tuxedo there,
Wow.
isn't it?
It is.
Virginia tuxedo.
This is called bedtime at Bowman's house.
Wow. Kevin Bowman, baby. Boom, as he says.
An industry icon on
Oh,
show
hey.
number 2.
Me
What's
too.
up?
A little Miller Lite for you. Hey, man, welcome.
Welcome.
Straight from Bluefield, West Virginia.
Straight from Bluefield,
by God,
West
Virginia.
By God, West Virginia.
That's right.
I thought it was West by God, Virginia.
We mix it up.
By God.
Yeah.
We mix it up.
Thanks for joining us this evening, man.
Thanks for having me.
Top 5 right now, so you want to kind of hang in with us here. We're going to go through 2 more cards.
Okay.
And going in my top 5, I started with a 72 tops for designs. We're talking top 5 designs. 54 tops, 75 tops mini to be specific. And what's your feeling on the minis for 75?
Who, me?
Yeah. Well, yeah, you.
They're pretty sweet. I mean, if you can find them in good condition. I bought a Reds team set years ago just to have it. But I don't come across too many 75 minis.
There you go. See,
They don't. Weren't they just released on the West Coast?
no, they were actually test ran in Michigan. In the
Okay.
great state of Michigan.
I thought they were like West Coast issues.
No, and then they distribute them to California and New York, were the only 2 states.
We're gonna have to
Okay.
fact check George. We'll fact check him, Bowman. We'll see what the
Yeah,
real
fact check that because I'm not sure. Maybe I just make stuff up half the
like,
time.
listen to, yeah.
Right. But
Is
I
this
sound
the
good,
box?
Conan.
What?
Do I sound good doing saying it though?
It sounded confident.
That's right.
Yes. So all right. Next, number 2 of my top 5 tops baseball designs will be the 1959 top series. And we got Mr. Tiger there. Love the 59 series. Once again, great color. Great photos involved in the 59s. And the backs, too. There's actually 2 different types of backs. There's the white cream color back, as they call it, and a gray back. And started to find a little uptick. Use that word. That's so popular now. In the pricing of the white backs at some of them, but they never took off like other series did in the backs of cards. But once again, very cool card. It shows their complete stats, just not the previous year stats and all that. And also some tremendous cartoons there in the corner.
All right, George. What's the key rookie in 59 tops?
Oh, 59 tops. Well, I say Bob Gibson.
They're 100%. Good job.
Thank you. Thank you. I pass. All right. All right. Now we got probably the greatest rookie card ever that can be in there. I'm not showing it right now, but the greatest the greatest design from Topps Baseball is their original design, the 1952 Topps.
That's the Mickey Mantle.
Right. We got Mickey. You got every rookie in there, of course, especially it's like the 86, 87 Fleer basketball.
Yeah.
Everybody's a rookie. But it's, I mean, to look at cards in the 1950s,
that's iconic.
Yeah, to look at cards in the 1950s from where they came from, late 40s, after World War II, 52 is awesome. And what they did there with the photos and started with this, of course, a signature facsimile signature, which, Kevin, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't believe those are the actual signatures of those players like they did in later years.
Yeah, they were like on their Topps contracts, if I believe.
Okay.
That makes
used them the best to that. And then, of course, the back of the cards, there's a lot of different variations in backs for 52s. Some have like half a star or a black star. Some have a red star. Different types of years. But once again, iconic because it does involve the Mickey Mantle rookie, of course. And the 52 series is awesome. I mean, that's number 1 for me. And Kevin, what's your number 1 design of all time?
my favorite design.
Yeah.
Vintage set.
Anything. 52 tops, or let's say baseball, football. What do you like the most? What's your favorite design of sports cards?
This is a tough question.
Is it a Bowman product?
Not a product.
That's our producer.
Those those were garbage designs. You got to give them a little bit of credit. I mean, but I always liked the 72 Tops baseball design.
Yes, I had that,
That
as
was
a
classic,
there.
colorful, and it kind of goes along with that. The 75 Tops, kind of the same, just different design, all the
Yeah,
colors and stuff.
Lockstep.
Yeah, we are.
Did you guys text message each other before the show started?
Yeah,
well,
Where
we
you
did,
guys
but
were
it
on the
wasn't
same
about
page?
that.
No, I was going to put together a 72 Top set a while back, and then ended up selling it. I just gave up. I dumped too much money in it with those high numbers, and I just said, forget it. I'm giving up on it and dumping it. But I like that set. The 50 set, I don't know. There's something about the 57 Top set design going to the first year of standard size cards.
Yep.
People really like that set. I'm always partial to the 91 Top set.
No, 91.
I know I've said it 5,000 times, not because of the Desert Shields or anything like that. I just think the photography in that set, it was the last year, I believe, Topps actually used like that cardboard feel on the
Went to kind
card.
of
Next year, they
yeah.
were like a glossy in
Yeah.
92. So being the last set that they did that on, and the photography from top to bottom throughout the set, I think it's one of their best sets photography wise, not value wise, but just if you want a set of cards to look at and say that's a cool picture, this is a cool picture, it just kind of, I don't know, that's the way I feel about it.
That's great. Do we have anybody popping in there, Rich, that had some questions, or anybody who want to make statements on any?
Yeah, we have a guy from our Facebook feed, Nick Wright, asked, what about the 84 Tops?
Go ahead, Kevin.
Tigers World Series, baby.
I'm not a big fan of the 84 Tops. I don't know. I just think it kind of looks like Topps kind of looked at it and said, last minute, what are we going to do? Let's do this. I don't think they put a lot of thought into that set. Like, you look at the 80s sets, they're all kind of blah. And then you get to 86, and they have kind of that black border. They're really tough to grade.
Yep.
I'm not a big fan of the 84 set. I don't find it anything spectacular about it.
And I agree with you there. I think 85, they started popping it a little bit. 86 was strong, and 87 was strong.
Yep.
And then 88, they kind of went down back hill again. I don't know what happened there, but
88. Did you say 88 Tops?
88. Yeah. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, I remember 86, always looking for that Barry Bonds 86 card.
Yeah. It's tough.
Those top graded sets are actually pretty strong.
Yeah, they're taking back off again. So, hey, Kevin, let's talk about yourself.
Let's introduce our guest.
Yeah.
We don't want to talk about me. That's boring.
Well, I want you to talk about you.
I'm not talking about my.
No, what got you into the industry? How did we run into each other? And where you're at now with everything too. So, kind of give us a little, small little bio there.
Hey,
all right.
So, real quick, if you don't give us the right answer, Kevin, we're gonna say that you and George met in a bathroom stall. So make sure you tell us.
Met on Grinder. You guys met on Grinder.
So I like most card sellers or traders or whatever, we start out as collectors, most time as kids, and it was kind of just, you start as a kid and then you kind of collect and then you give it up for a little bit, then you start again, and then I think I started really strong back into it in the what happened there? Are you guys still there? I guess started back into it strong back into like the late 90s, and then just kind of collected mostly until about 2007, and that's like when I really started setting up at shows and stuff while working. And then when I moved to Bluefield, I think about a year after I moved here, I started like in 2010, like really setting up at shows, doing about 30 shows a year until my daughter was born. And then I had to cut way back, and then I had to pick and choose my spots. Are you guys still there? I can't see you guys. So, and then I guess after like last January, I decided that it was time to open up a shop. And you back? Are you there? And then we got to, during the middle of the pandemic, we just opened in June and of 2020, and then we're still open today. So that's kind of where we are, where we've been, where we come to now, and it's been a fun ride, and it's
Can you hear anything?
the shop's doing all right. I mean, it's doing well. It seems like every month is better than the previous month, as far as new customers and sales. And I haven't seen any of those big deals walk through the door yet. That's what we're kind of banking on while we really opened up, just to see people bring stuff in. We see a little bit of it, but not like, wow, this is the buy. And that's kind of what a card shop, when you have one, kind of what you hope for, and just kind of for the community to bring people together, and like for a place where collectors can go. And I got people that come down, 50 miles one way, like 3 or 4 times a week, and they stay hours and then they go home. So it's pretty fun. It's been good so far. No complaints. It's just the only complaint I have is being allocated product from distributors. That's the only complaint I have, and I've talked with George about that before. So that's pretty much it.
That's awesome, man. I mean,
it's been great to get to know you over the past couple of months, and joining the Four Horsemen group and watching. I mean, it's such a great group. It's amazing that you guys have been able to put a group of 1,000 collectors together. With just 3 to 4 people. But the question to you, the card market has absolutely soared over the past 12 to 18 months, and a lot of business now is being transacted online, whether it's eBay, Facebook. I guess how have you, as a local card shop owner, how have you kind of had to pivot as a business to kind of adjust to where the market's going? I mean, do you still see people coming into the card shop and the conversation part of it? But I guess, how have you guys pivoted as a business to adjust to the changing market?
Well, what's crazy is the market just started to change right when we opened. So I've seen, pretty much all sides of the card market where it was, stuff would sell. It's just going crazy, and you just got to time it right. And I think a lot of people are jumping back in because some stuff is sold for, record prices, and the more exposure that gets in major media markets, it's going to turn heads, not just in, our industry, but outside of that, to other people that might want to diversify their investments, or get into something different. It's one of the top things you can buy to return on investment or sports cards. If you go to a show and you dig through dollar boxes all show, and you want to live that way, you can exponentially increase your money if you have the time and the effort and willpower to do it. I mean, it's just it's just what it is.
Where have you seen it go with like the kids? I mean, how are you trying to get are you guys working down there trying to get the kids back into the collectibles, and what certain strategies are you using to try to get that to happen with the prices of packs and all that?
Well, I do have kids come in, and most of the kids that come in, they come in with their mom or their dad, and they'll generally buy like some singles, or they want to buy like most of them can't afford hobby boxes because obviously the hobby boxes are so stinking expensive. You got to have some of that retail product on your shelves along with hobby product, so you can sell to the kids too if they want to open product. It's not every kid can parent, their parents can't, or the kid can't afford to open a $200 or $300 box, even $100 box of cards. And that's pretty much where the price points are these days. your average box is like what, 200. I didn't have $200 when I was 8 years old. I was lucky to get
Prism 2021 Prison Hoops, $2,500 I think is what that went for.
Yeah, like like the hoops, like those hoops fat packs. I think most people were selling those online for like $30 to $45. And if I get them, I put them out for $20 and they fly off the shelves, because I think that's a good price point just to get a decent amount of cards for $20 and move on. And one thing I try to do, I've been doing this for years. Like if any kid comes up to my table, or if they come into my shop for the first time, I always ask them who their favorite player is, what's their favorite sport, and I'll generally give them something. Or if a parent comes in and they're looking for like a kid, and I'll ask them and I'll say, here, give this to them. I don't want any money for it. And I think that helps the hobby a little bit, because anytime you give something to somebody for free and you don't expect anything in return, and, it kind of means something to them, and it's something they'll remember. I think it's something I'll remember, because I remember that when I was a kid, the card shops that I went to, that the guy would either be good to you, or he would give you like a card, like, oh, you like Pete Rose? Here, take that. Or you like Johnny Bench? Take that. You like Eric Davis? Take that. And that I think that helps. And also, I always ask kids how they did on the report card. If they did report card, I said, how'd you do? And they tell me. I said, go get $10 worth of stuff out of those boxes over there. I don't care. Just grab whatever you want. And they keep coming back. So I think I'm trying to help the younger collector, trying to help them. And some of the kids come in and they're way ahead where I was at 10 years old. They're looking at their phone. They're going, this sells for $30. Will you take 20? Sure, that's fine.
Yeah, but this is $10 over the comps. What are you doing here?
So the kids now have an advantage over where we were at, back then. But back then it wasn't about trying to make money, or it was about amassing the biggest collection you could, or the biggest team collection, or
set.
Building the set, building that 86 Fleer baseball set that I never finished when I was a kid. I never finished it. I could have bought the set complete for like $5, but I know I spent more than $5 trying to put it together when I was 9 years old.
How's your grades now? I might be able to hook you up.
What's that?
How's your grades now? I might be able to hook you up.
C minus, he's a C minus student.
Oh, a C minus student? No, they got to try harder. They need like B's to get the $10. Otherwise, I'll feel sorry for them and flip them like, here, take this stay in school card that they made in the 90s. Do your math, learn, read.
Nice. Now, I think we had a couple questions there. I saw Josh Clevenger pop up there. Jerry Sandvig. What do you got there, Rich?
So the question was, did the Bowman Brothers steal this podcast? That is absolutely a negative, in my opinion.
We didn't steal anything. We don't steal.
Hey, but if you want to start one, we'll fire it up, man.
No, I'm good. Nobody wants to see this mug all the time. We're good.
And then Jerry Sandvik said, KB sold me a card for $20. I sold it for $200, and now it's currently going for $1,200.
Hey, that's the type of guy he is.
What card was that? Who knows? Lord knows I've sold enough cards that have gone.
Oh man, I tell you, Kevin, going back to our auctions the past 4 years, like the Mahomes and all that.
Oh yeah,
man, we can go back on that stuff.
Taking a bath,
selling those Luca Prisms in auction back when
guys
they were.
Want to laugh at what we sell stuff for.
Luca
and
Prisms.
Like I can't believe you got that for that card. But no, let's go back a little. I'll show you what I got for some cards.
Yeah,
Kevin. One question I had for you, in addition to the one I asked. So, one of the benefits of being a local card shop owner is the access that you have directly to the manufacturers. Whether it's Panini, Topps. I guess, how does that process work for you? When a new set drops, Prism basketball just dropped. We got Optic football, whatever it may be. How does it work for you in terms of access to that product? You obviously can't order as much as you want. It's on allocation, right? So do they allocate product to you based on past buying history? How does that work, if you don't mind sharing with us?
Well, let's put it this way. So I'm with two distributors. One is GTS Distribution. They're out of New York, and I think they have an office. They have several offices. And then I'm with Southern Hobby. I am not direct with any card manufacturer. I actually, when was that? In December? I think in late December, I sent Panini an email and I said, "Hey, I just started a card shop. I'm in a rural area, and I'm trying to build customer base because I can't get enough allocation or any allocation for most products for my distributor." And I got an email back that said, "Hey, send us a picture of your storefront, the wax on your shelves, and fill out this form." So I did all that. And then I didn't hear from them for 2 weeks. And I sent them another email and they said, "Oh, we do our quarterly assessments. We do our assessments quarterly on new businesses to see if they can buy direct from us." And I thought, all right. So actually last week I received an email back from Panini saying that right now I could not buy their product. I don't know why. I don't know if they think I'm a big enough operation, which I'm not.
I think after this podcast, you will have full access to anything and everything.
Yeah, well, you don't. That's the problem. Like if you're a new business, like I've had people tell me that that start a card shop and they'll call the distributors like, "Why am I not getting any product?" And they say, "Well, if you're not spending $100,000 a month on product, then you're not getting any allocation." I've had somebody tell me that this last weekend when I did the Hickory show in North Carolina, because I was talking to them about it and I was like, "That's just jacked up." So they kind of pick and choose the distributors. I hate to say this, I mean, I like them, but they kind of pick and choose who they allow to spend money or make money. I'm sorry, spend money and make more money. When you see card shops have 5 cases, I saw a picture of this last year. They got 5 cases of optic basketball hobby. And that's like, at the time, I believe it was like 525 a box. As soon as it came out. So I'm thinking, man, there's $40,000 worth of wax sitting there that they're going to make immediately. And I know what the cost is on that stuff because I see it. And I'm like, man, they just made buku, like $30,000 worth of profit on 4 cases of cards. And when you see it from that side, it's like, man, that kind of sucks for everybody. Not just me. I mean, I can't sell flawless and I can't sell, $1,000 boxes. That's not my target market. My target market's the $100 to $300 range with occasionally some of that more expensive stuff. But when you're allocated 1 box of Topps Chrome baseball, that's a Topps product, or like 1 box of Topps hobby. That's not going to cut it. You're not going to keep the doors open unless you find other avenues to buy wax. And I've got a few people that I buy wax from and have bought wax from. So I got to keep those avenues open. And I try to spend as much as I can with the distributors, but sometimes they just won't let you. That's the problem. That's what most card shops face today, with a major issue. I know there's one card shop that we have bought wax from in the past. And if you've seen, like, probably back as far as 2018, that was the last year I was able to buy Prism football from the guy. Like, and I had Prism football here that I couldn't sell at my house. That's before I even had a shop. And I was just busting boxes occasionally for people doing it live. And that guy, which is crazy, he's been in business he's had a card shop for 40 years. And he's direct with Topps. I don't know if he might be direct with Panini too, but that Panini kind of cut him off. And then Topps cut his allocations, which I think that's kind of dirty. After being in business for 40 years with a company like Topps, I think those shops should get first dibs on as much or as little product as they want, and they shouldn't get cut at all.
It shows how cutthroat they are nowadays too. And we got a long time listener, first time caller checking in right now. Colt Thompson, I believe it was. Rich, what do you see there?
Colt Thompson said, so Bowman Brothers isn't getting 5 cases of 2021 Prism basketball for $125 per box.
No, we're not. We'll be to sniff a box. We'll be lucky to sniff an empty box that we find in a trash. we won't get it.
We appreciate you.
Get the empty wax.
So you're saying you're not going to get the empty wax at all?
Probably not, unless I find it in a trash can somewhere that somebody's already. I mean,
Hey, Kevin, tell everybody the millions and millions of listeners that are on tonight. How can everybody support Bowman Brothers? Shop, whether it's online, Facebook, Twitter. Let us know how can everybody find you.
Oh, well, you can find us. You can like our page on Facebook, Bowman Brothers Cards and Collectibles. I'm on Twitter, but I rarely use it. That's a little bit. If I was just a tad bit younger, I would use it. It's at Bowman Brothers, and that's about it. I'm on. I have an eBay store, but I rarely put anything in eBay because why would I when I can sell on Facebook for free and sell at my store?
Where else do you swing some cards at, buddy? Is there a certain Facebook page you're on?
Are you talking about me?
Yes. You.
Oh, it's Bowman Brothers Cards and Collectibles. I have a business page. And then you can definitely find us on the Four Horsemen Live sports card sales and auctions page with a weekly auction. We try to do a weekly one like with George and Patrick, and we try to get those going. That's where
you are the king of Saturday nights, my man. King of Saturday nights.
Yeah, we love the Saturday nights.
King of the bobbleheads and Bacardi shots.
Yes,
that's right.
Is Kenny there?
You got to find your gimmicks. You got to have your gimmicks.
Kenny there?
He's in the other room. He's in my office.
Oh, okay.
I'm in the kitchen. Right. This is where the auction action happens anyway. So
love it. Well, Kevin, thanks for joining us this evening, man. You offered a lot of insight on owning the LCS there, local card shop for yourself.
Love it, Kevin.
And the history of yourself too. It means a lot. And hopefully, if anybody's got any questions for Kevin, hit him up. You can hit us here too on the page. And Kevin, thanks for joining us. Thanks for getting dressed up tonight. We really appreciate you.
Thanks.
And hope to see you this Saturday evening, brother.
Hey, thanks again, Kevin. Great job.
Have a good one, Kevin.
Anytime. We'll see you.
All right, kind of went through the top 5 there. My cans aren't even working here now, so yeah, I don't know what's going on, but I'll step away from that. So,
wrap it up.
Well, we're not going to wrap it up yet, Pat. You know, you just want to push it, get it out of here. You got a hot date tonight?
No
hot date. No, it's got to pee. Okay. We got a couple of things here. Actually, really only one more thing. Then we'll wrap it up. We're going to start, or actually, we got this new segment. We had Hip's top 5 in the last segment here. Now we got Coach Pat's Market Minute. This is where we're going to get real nerdy. We're going to talk about stats and data.
We could nerd out here big time if we want to.
And Pat, what do you got for us this week?
So, Coach Pat's Market Minute, we, many times, whether it's the stock market, the sports card market, at some point, you are going to see a correction. Prices go through the roof, and there's also kind of the mentality we hear in modern pop culture, fear of missing out, right? You've heard of that term. And probably between, I'd say, December and February, there was a huge run on legends, past legends, whether football, basketball. So a Barry Sanders, a Barkley, a Jordan. People were buying those cards up like crazy. And I myself, I tell you, full transparency here, guilty as charged. We went down, we did a family trip down to Orlando, went to Universal. Then I was just surveying the card market, and I said, "Oh my gosh, I'm missing out on these Hakeem Olajuwon and Charles Barkley rookie cards, 86 Fleer." And who doesn't love 86 Fleer? We all do. It's iconic
set. There it is.
Absolutely
man.
Iconic.
For basketball.
And of course, PSA 10, PSA 9, not even in the discussion. Just absurd what the prices were. So I said, all right, let's check out the PSA 8. So I dipped my toe into the pool on Olajuwon Barkley PSA 8s, rookie cards, bought a few of those. They've since dipped a little bit, not terribly, but Olajuwon's down close to 10%. Barkley, maybe a little more, but anytime you buy a legend, that it'll go back up at some point. It's not going to totally tank like what we talked about earlier in the show, a speculative buy. some rookie that could be totally out of the league in 2 years. These guys are proven track record, Hall of Famers. There's going to be ebbs and flows in the prices. I unfortunately bought those two at the peak, but now those same legends have started to dip a little bit. So we talked about earlier, hey, buy the dip. So as these guys start to dip, I would start looking at a guy like I'd start looking at an Olajuwon, a Barkley. But here's a couple of examples, and we said the icons were starting to go up during that time frame. LeBron James, 2003 tops. This is a PSA 10. It's probably out of all of our price ranges, but typically the lower grades 9, 8, 7 will follow suit. PSA 10 LeBron 2003 is down 27% in the last 30 days. Kobe 96 tops down 55% in the last 30 days. PSA 10. LeBron James Upper Deck exclusives down 28% in the last 30 days. And of course, on my bucket list, I still do not own one of these cards. Is a Michael Jordan rookie, 86 Fleer. Don't own one. I'd love to have one. But PSA 6, Michael Jordan 86 Fleer down 24%. PSA 7 down 22%. PSA 8 down 12.5%. And then the last one, I'll get into football. Peyton Manning, his Bowman Chrome rookie card, 1998, down 40%. I actually just sold the one I had at one of the times I actually sold at the peak. So I did okay on that one, but again, a card that has dipped a ton, but I think it'll go back up as football season gets closer. He's going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. So again, I would start looking again at these legends, because when you start to build your portfolio of sports cards, you want to have a good variation of guys that you're kind of gambling on a little bit, some of these hot rookies. And also you want to have kind of those steady, legends, established superstar, no-brainer guys like a Kobe, a Jordan, a Manning, whoever it may be. So you kind of want to have a little bit of both, to round out your collection. If you're somebody might be a true gambler, you're going I just want all the hot rookies, which some of these people are doing these days. I'm buying all the LaMelo Balls. I'm buying all the Justin Herbert and Joe Burrows. So there's just so many different ways to go about it, but you really got to think it through and diversify that collection with a mix of established legend players and also some guys that, hey, you could buy pretty low as rookies and they could take off. So that's what makes it fun. It really does. So that's kind of my rant for the market minute this week. Just kind of you're going to see market corrections. It happens from time to time, and we'll see it again. Prices will dip and then they'll go back up. So it's important to follow those trends and buy the dip, just like you do in the stock market.
Yeah, exactly. There was a comment in there from Chris Levitan, said just like the stock market.
Yes, it really is. And Pat, that was awesome. I mean, we wanted to get that piece in here, and I did, especially from you, and you hit it out of the park there, brother. And that was awesome.
It's fun. It's just fun to kind of see those trends play out.
It is,
and you learn from.
It's fun to hear them, and I think it's important for the viewers and listeners out there, take notes on this stuff, because those numbers mean a lot.
They do. And it's and everybody has a different method in terms of how they're buying and selling, and some people are doing it just to add a personal collection. Some are doing it to invest. Some a combination of both, like I do. But yeah, it's important to follow those trends
and do what makes you happy. Number one, that's the biggest thing.
And
you have
also
to really enjoy
buy what you know. I don't know what Verizon is doing the next, what their corporate strategy is for the next 3 to 5 years. But I tell you what, I do know that I think Joe Burrow is going to be a hell of a quarterback. I think
so true.
LeBron James is going to be an icon in pop culture for years to come, even when basketball's over. So do I want to spend my money on stuff I think I'm more informed on? Yes. So I'm stepping off my soapbox.
So yeah, you got a comment here from Chris again. He said that he kind of had to check himself because he was all in on the Torkelson, and George stressed to be patient. Be patient.
Yes, Dad, don't panic sell on Torkelson. Torkelson had one hit all of spring training. One hit. One. Yeah, he's a rookie. He missed an entire year of baseball last year. I mean, he was robbed of an entire year of baseball because of COVID. But that's a guy, he's a hold. You got buy, sell, hold. Torkelson's a guy I'm holding on to. I'm not looking to sell and unload Torkelson because he got sent down to the minors. If you have Torkelson cards, hold him because he's gonna be up in the big show. So yeah, hold. Be patient.
Buy low.
You got to have
Buy
some
low.
patience. Yeah.
Buy at more of a happier price than he's at
Yeah.
right now for yourself.
Yep.
Especially as a buyer. Well, I'll tell you what, it's been a great episode 2 here. We got some stuff planned here coming up in the future episodes. So be patient with us. We're gonna keep it entertaining and try to keep it right around an hour for you all. We don't want to keep you going too long, but once again, Rich and Tom.
Yep. Best
Huge.
in the business.
Guys,
Best.
and check them out, please, at Speakeasy at the Easy Speak 330 on their page on Facebook. And also check themselves out, us out, and a plethora of other stations out there on iLogic Media. That is huge. And we couldn't do it without any of them.
Yep.
And especially, and keep those questions coming to our viewers. Keep them coming. Even though we're not live, we'd love to hear from you and get it into a future podcast here and help answer those questions because that gives us content and keeps you all involved too. So we really appreciate everyone here. You got anything, Pat?
No, hey, another fun episode, and hey, much more to discuss next week. But yeah, again, a huge thanks to Rich and Tom, and thanks to all the viewers for you guys wasting your Thursday night watching two old fat guys talk about sports cards. That's kind of what we do. But hey, wouldn't have it any other way. It was fun. Enjoyed it as always, and hope we all learned something together. And hey, let's have a great week of sports cards ahead.
Peace out, guys.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching the OC.